albums still matter. Like books and Black lives, albums still matter. Tonight and always.
Once upon a time, these two had radio shows until they were laid off at no fault of their own. Sure, that's what they all say. It's the Link Up Listening Party with Auggie and Jordan.
Wow. The production value, Auggie, off the charts.
You know what I'm saying? We in here, baby. Shout out to Serato. Shout out to my ingenuity. Shout out to you, Jordan. Well, it's a pleasure to see you again, sir.
Dude, it's amazing to see you. Welcome to the Link Up Listening Party. I'm Jordan. That's Auggie. This is a podcast where we discuss the links and similarities between two seemingly sonically different albums. This week, we're getting spooky with it.
Woo! Yeah, I didn't want to look in my closet at all with this one because you never know what's going to pop out with these two albums.
Yeah, so I picked Tyler, the Creator's Goblin, and Auggie picked Lady Gaga's The Fame Monster. Big time satanic vibes this week. It's a problem.
Dude, that reminds me of this era of Lady Gaga. Me, along with every other person that had a tinfoil hat on, thought she was Illuminati and thought she was like sending us Satan worshiping signals and all this stuff. There was a lot at this time.
She made it hard to give her the benefit of the doubt. She was pushing it, and so was Tyler as well. We have a lot to discuss with Tyler. I'm not excited to go into the intricacies of this album and what it all means. About to get dicey.
I have to say this about Tyler, the Creator, and Goblin, and my wife. You know, as we're prepping and listening to the music, my wife hates Tyler, the Creator, by the way. Mm-hmm. From day one, the first time she saw the Yonkers video, because he said something about Jesus in the song. I can't remember what it was.
Jesus called, he said he's sick of the disses. I told him to quit bitching. It says in a fucking hotline.
And she's like, he's Satan worshiper. And then she saw the video for She, and she's like, oh, he rapes women. He's terrible. Like, he's a Satan worshiping rapist. And I'm like, oh, damn. Why am I listening to this guy? This is bad.
Yeah, again, Tyler did not make it easy as well. Let's start off with the Fame Monster with the synopsis, Auggie. Synopsize us with the Fame Monster. Break it down with the meat dress and everything. Let's go.
So I have to preface this whole thing by just putting you where I was at this time, right? Or basically putting you in the world where Fame Monster is. Now, this was not necessarily a follow-up, kind of like a deluxe edition. At least that's what the record label told her to do, was kind of a re-release of The Fame, which was released the year earlier. And The Fame was definitely pushing the boundaries of where pop could go. Like it didn't sound anything else like pop. You had a lot of the EDM rhythms, as they say, the 4 on the floor. You know, you got the doom 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 with Just Dance, and I think she was culturally speaking for the moment. There were a lot of women and people in general that were living that lifestyle of just being in the club. I was one of them, doing wild things, sexually, drinking, the whole nine. This was released November 18th, 2009. And what followed with this was the Monster Ball tour, which broke records, sir.
Yes.
She's a record-breaking artist. This was the highest selling tour by a debut headliner in the history of music.
What a flex by Gaga.
And when we talk about these albums, and I always want to talk about the reviews, and I look for the bad ones. John Dolan from Rolling Stone, I don't know if he's still employed there or not, 10 years later, 10 plus years later. I hope he is.
Okay.
He said, half of this disc is Madonna knockoffs, but that's part of the concept. Fame Monsters needn't concern themselves with originality.
Okay. I think he totally missed the point of the album. It was, did you know who Sophie was, who passed away yesterday?
Yes, R.I.P. to Sophie, man.
R.I.P. to Sophie. So they took pop music to the extreme, like the super duper extreme. Gaga was doing that, and you can't really do that type of pop music, like pure pop, without sounding like Madonna. So I think, again, such words, though I appreciate the slander and I love a good spicy take, it comes from a place that's not rooted in any context. It's really just the album with no thoughts of what's around it. So sorry, right. John Dolan, I don't rock with your spice.
No, and you know what? The brilliance of her as a songwriter and as an artist, she's able to be like a chameleon in a sense, because when you listen to the Fame, you hear one of the songs at the end there where it's basically like a No Doubt song, and I can't remember the name of the song, like something boy, and she can
boy boy boy.
Maybe it's boy 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 or sunshine boy, or I can't remember off the top of my head. But
nice of you to care, Augie.
I know.
Nice of you to do your homework.
I really did. I didn't have that part prepared because I didn't expect to talk about that song in particular. But she can do anything. And as far as the total package, she's a rare beast when it comes to songwriting, singing ability, and image. I don't think that there's any artist out there that's like her. You know?
I mean, I think she understands what she wanted to do and what she wanted to be and her creative vision. I think artists like that are very, again, not to always compare pop artist to Prince, but like Lady Gaga is very Prince-esque in knowing her image and what she wanted to do and could blend into whatever sound she focused on. I don't think that's slanderous.
No.
Prince fans, feel free to slander me if you don't think that's true. I just think Gaga's very good at that, and as was Prince.
Yeah, I have to say that this is kind of a hot take. I don't know if I need the hot take music for this or not, but I feel like she has yet to reach her potential as an artist.
I was kind of thinking this. I don't know if it was potential, but I kind of feel like she's still somehow underrated is how I was thinking about it. Like when Gaga releases new music, people think it'll never be like Just Dance, or she'll never deliver like that next step. Where she was in like A Star Is Born. She played the Super Bowl halftime show. She's had hits on hits on hits on hits on hits on hits on hits, and people are still wanting more from her. I think that speaks to how much of a creative she is and how magnetic her artistry can be. Do you get that? Is that kind of parallel to what you're saying?
Yeah, that exactly is. So cheers to Stephanie Germanata for being an amazing, talented, gifted artist. And we don't deserve you, Stephanie.
Have you seen the meme that goes around whenever she does something dope? Where it's that Facebook group from her high school? It's like, Stephanie Germanata, you'll never be famous. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, these people she went, I think it was either high school or college. They made a Facebook group called Stephanie Germanata, You'll Never Be Famous. And they would just go in there and just talk shit about her. And she just sang the national anthem at the inauguration. Like, come on.
Dude, that's funny. I want to check that out if it's still active. That's amazing.
I don't think it is, but imagine like being the creator of that group, how embarrassed you would be. Like, wow.
Yeah,
she
what
really
a fucking
flexed on
dick.
me.
That's even worse than John Dolan from the Rolling Stone. That's terrible.
Oh, it's on a whole new level. It's on a personal level too. Critics can critic, but to do that to someone you know, like tangentially, very mean.
Yeah, but Jordan, please introduce us to Goblin, Tyler the Creator's masterpiece, if you will.
I'm about to be talking for the next like 12 minutes, so buckle up because there's a lot to talk about. Goblin is the debut studio album. It's a second project, but debut studio album from Tyler the Creator, released on May 10th, 2011. The album conceptually is Tyler talking to his therapist, Dr. TC. It's considered responsible for the thrusting of Odd Future into the industry and public spotlight. Sonically, the album is a mixture of drums reminiscent of the Wu-Tang Clan, chord progressions that are half The Shining, half Stevie Wonder, and truly despicable lyrics that make me question why we didn't talk about this more upon the album's release. Way more on that later. The album's success was propelled by two signals in particular, Yonkers and She. You remember Yonkers as the music video Auggie was talking about 5 minutes ago, and it also features Tyler eating the cockroach and then throwing up.
Which I love. I love that part.
Man, I felt so scared to watch. So 2011, I was a senior in high school, and then the next fall I was in college, and I went to a small Christian college here in Minnesota, and I remember watching the music video like on like my college's Wi-Fi, like, oh, this is satanic, I'm on the watch list. Like I'd watch it, I'd be scared to watch it because I didn't want them to think like, oh, he's a Satanist. The album received generally positive reviews, sporting an 8 out of 10 from our favorite tryhards Pitchfork, and debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200. I have some more questions about this later as well. This album is proof that critics will say good things about anything if they think it'll make them sound cool. However, a lot of people did note that Goblin is tired shock rap, quote unquote, and that, quote unquote, Eminem did this 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Here's some reviews, Auggie. Randall Roberts from the LA Times said that Tyler pressed the same buttons as Elvis, John Rotten, Chuck D, and Eminem did. And after 15 minutes, you just want him to shut the hell up.
Wow. I agree with you had me in the first half. But yeah, the second half, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah. Evan Ritlewski of the AV Club said Goblin is a deliberately created work of art, one of the densest and most provocative statements that independent rap has produced in years.
Yeah, I agree with that. We can speak more. Lyrics aside, I agree with that.
I guess production wise, but keep in mind, like Kid Cudi had, a pretty provocative statement mixtape like 2 years prior. No, sorry, 5 years prior. So, I mean, that's still pretty recent. And then Scott Plaganoff of Pitchfork said his fantasies and lack of filter are still huge roadblocks for many, if not most listeners. He goes on to say they're also one aspect of a larger character-driven story, a license that we grant to visual arts, film, and literature, but rarely to pop music. I think there was a defense of this album, which I think is abhorrent. I think that would be it. Because like I was thinking about like one of my favorite movies right now is Knives Out. Did you see that with the Ryan Johnson whodunit flick?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's phenomenal. But one of the characters in there is like a teen alt-right Nazi. And how come it's just one of the characters, like one of the Clue-esque characters. And it's like, how come I'm fine with that, but I'm not fine with Tyler or Eminem going there? You know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So,
and it's along the same vein of the critique that people give Quentin Tarantino when he's writing his films and the N-word. They're like, you're not black. Why do you keep writing the N-word into your films? And I mean, I don't know. I'm not defending him anyway. I'm just saying like people give people that license in film.
Yeah. So that's a good point as well. So like, I think this album, the subject matter, it's gross and tasteless. And as a vocal critic of the homophobia and misogyny of Eminem's lyrics, I found myself, levying these same critiques against Tyler, an artist I'm much more fond of and much more apt to defend. Like I love Flower Boy, I love Igor. So I'm like, do I have an inconsistent strike zone right now? Is something I really analyzed. But however, the more I thought about the landscape of modern media, and that quote from Scott of Pitchfork, it's like, why do we let things like Knives Out or American History X or Breaking Bad depict things like Nazism with impunity? But when Tyler and Eminem drop horrifying lyrics as a character, they've both stated that people like me get all up in arms. There's misogyny, to bring up Prince, there's misogyny in Purple Rain, and we let it slide. No one talks about that. Is it because concept albums like this can be broken down into singles and thus easier to take out of context?
I think that's part of it. But the thing about music is that what makes you love music is that you can put yourself into the song, right? Like you relate to the artist in a way that you don't necessarily relate to the leading character in a movie or a TV show. So and I'll add to it is that with hip hop, the prevailing statement for the past 30, 40 years is keeping it real. So when you're listening to a rapper rap, generally you're thinking this guy is being honest with us, that he's keeping it real with us, and we're going to hold him to a standard. And I feel like that's where the disconnect is if Tyler was in fact playing a character, which I'm sure he was.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing a 19-year-old kid, that was a product of the 90s and early 2000s, which was a wild time. I think it's important to note for the context of analyzing that. And also, what do we make of Tyler being a member of the LGBTQ community and thus having, for lack of a better term, the permission to say such things? What do you make of that, Auggie?
Just for context, in case you haven't heard the album and you don't know anything about Tyler, the Creator, he's referring to the liberal use of the F word in this film or in this movie. I mean, we're talking about in this album. This album. He's talking about the liberal use of the F word, and you know what the F word is? And it's hearing it in 2011. I didn't like the word then, but it wasn't as jarring to hear as it is now. Because honestly, going to school, I heard that word a lot, just thrown around. It was just a word that was just thrown around. You know what I mean? And it wasn't as jarring hearing it come from somebody 10 years ago as it is now.
Yeah. But like when he drops one in the intro track, and then when I heard it, like it made me like cringe up my neck a little bit. Like, oh, it was a really visceral reaction to it. These lyrics that we're talking about got him banned from the UK, in which Tyler addressed in a 2018 interview with Rebecca Nicholson of The Guardian. Shall we hear Tyler's defense of himself?
Yes, please.
He says, "I got treated like a terrorist. I got treated like I was a murderer. It was kind of stupid. And after a while, I was like, I don't even want to come back." Talking about London. But it was more the principle of y'all really did this over this in comparison to the other shit that you do. In comparison to other shit people do that y'all let in. And then Tyler goes on to say, the length of the band surprised me, but then I remembered I'm dark skinned. So, all right, I get it. So he's thinking that he was an easy target.
There might be some truth to that, but it also just feels like a guy that has like wanting to be a victim for some shit that he did that he knew could be a problem, you know?
Let's listen to more Tyler, shall we? He continues. People knew I wasn't homophobic. People knew the intent. Who hasn't played Call of Duty online and heard some 11-year-old call you that because you killed him? You knew the intent behind it, and then people were faking like he's homophobic. That was pissing me off. It's just another word. So that's Tyler's defense.
Reminds me of what's his name? Old Fondle himself, comedian, said in a bit. What's his name?
Louis C.K.?
Yeah, Louis C.K. He in one of his bits he said something about like, yeah, the F word, like we said it all the time as a kid. He's like, we didn't really think about gay people. We were just thinking about people we hated. And like, I don't know, it was just weird. It was just like a weird thing to say. I don't know.
It's hard for me to give a license to that word. And then if we think more about Tyler's career in a wider spectrum, Eminem called Tyler that same slur in his song Fall, in which I was pissed that Eminem used that word. Tyler responded, okay, did you ever hear me publicly say anything about that? Because I knew what the intent was. He felt pressured because people got offended for me. Don't get offended for me.
Yeah, it's just such a weird. Because here's the other thing about Tyler is he said everybody knows I'm not homophobic, dude. Nobody but people around you know who you are at this point. Like, yeah, you had Bastard before this, and you had a fan base, but dude, as far as all the kids that loved you knew, you were speaking truths and you hated F words. You know what I'm saying? So like, no, we hear you scream out F word on the song, and he's talking about Hitler on this album and all kinds of wild shit. He's making Asian American jokes and shit. Like, dude, people just think of you as a hateful ass person. Like, that's who they know you as. Like, get the fuck out of here.
And then, I'll be honest, when he played Soundset, which is a hip hop festival, or it was here in Minnesota, he played that. He didn't do a single thing pre Cherry Bomb. I don't think he did anything pre Cherry Bomb. And I remember leaving, like, I was kind of bummed he didn't play Yonkers because I just wanted to see that. I wanted to see what it was like to see the kids mob. But I think Tyler knows. I think we've seen him grow up in a massive like maturity level. And I think he knows that he knew what fan base he was attracting. And he didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I guess I can see where he's coming from. Personally, I've become numb to and don't really react anymore when I see anti-Arabic sentiments on the timeline or have them thrown my way. I feel like you'll go crazy if you do. That said, I obviously don't think my experience as a white passing Arab guy is applicable widespread.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a monolith. So I don't think Tyler and I's desensitizing approach to words that could harm us should be taken as a standard for all people. I do think his point about intent resonates and carries some weight, but I wouldn't deploy that defense against slurs. You know? I think this album's just impossible to listen to. I couldn't get through it. It took me 4 separate tries. I listened to The Fame Monster 3 times. The time it took me to run through Goblin once, just because I needed a palate cleanser.
I feel it. But the other thing is that if you listen to this without listening to the lyrics, it's a beautiful album. Like, there's the musically, it sounds great.
No, Tyler's production is always, like I said, it's like the horrorcore Stevie Wonder chords. He said he would look up chords of Stevie Wonder songs and just rearrange them because he loved disco and R&B and soul and all that. So he's getting these beautiful top of the line chord progressions with his brain and then the Wu-Tang drums. It's crazy. I wish it was an instrumental album.
Babe, he should drop that. We should send him a little message like, hey man, you should drop the instrumental Goblin for us so that we don't have to hear you scream fucking slurs all over it.
Yeah. So that's the very nuanced discussion. And I was kind of fearing about this because when we picked this, I was just thinking, oh yeah, I'll pick Goblin, Tyler's debut, the one that propelled him to the next level. Because I'd never heard it all the way through until this week. I listened to She and sometimes Yonkers. That's all. I did not know it was like this. I feel so bad that I made people listen to this.
Nah, you know what? It's all right because it's art and it's valuable for that. It's valuable because it's art. It's art that you hate. Here's the cool thing about art is that the best art draws a reaction, emotional response from you.
Yeah.
And it did. It achieved that. It's not like a response that necessarily you liked, but it did what it set out to do.
I guess, but like I hate country. Does that mean I love country as an art? Like when I hear a country song, I visually react to that.
No, that's the thing. You don't have to like it, but it did its job. And I think that if you were 19 listening to that album, you probably it would have resonated with you in certain ways, not necessarily the hateful stuff, but there's a lot of like the song Radicals, for instance, is just about not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, and you would, as a teenager, you can definitely resonate with that sentiment.
Yes. As a 19-year-old at a private Christian college in suburban Minnesota, I loved kill people, burn shit, fuck school. That was just my jam. Shall we move on to 5 fun facts, Augie?
Yes, sir. Can I give mine?
Give it to us for the Fame Monster.
All right. So here's my fun fact. Number 1, Telephone was written by Lady Gaga before she was Lady Gaga that we know. When she was just Stephanie Germanotta. She was working for this publishing house, writing songs for people. That song was turned down by Britney Spears, and it would have been an excellent fucking Britney Spears song. And once she decided to sit down and make the Fame Monster, she remembered she had that song in her back pocket and was like, I love this song. I'm making it. And it became a huge hit with Beyonce.
Wow. Britney, I wonder if that was like the Britney's dad said no to that song. You know what I mean? Like the whole
right. Free Britney.
Free Britney. Gaga tried to free Britney.
Are we a Free Britney podcast?
Absolutely, we're a Free Britney podcast. Could you imagine what she'd be doing if she had the leash to her life again? If she took back the freedom, she'd be out here crushing it. I'm a big pro Britney person.
Jordan, are you one of the people that thinks that like she's like giving subliminal messages every time there's like an Instagram post?
I honestly, I have not researched it enough. I didn't know that was a thing.
Mm-hmm. She's like,
is Britney Hive?
She's like sending like, I don't know, smoke signals and shit to her fans and to lawyers, letting them know like, please get me out of here.
I mean, I wouldn't be. What else would you do at that point?
I don't know.
If you were in that situation, but like, we got to free Britney. I need some hits. I need Toxic. I need My Loneliness is Killing Me. I need it. Free Britney. We are a very pro Britney podcast.
I'm glad that it didn't go to Britney. So thank you, Britney's dad.
Yeah.
Work better. Fun fact number 2. Turns out that Lady Gaga doesn't have a dick.
I for one am flabbergasted by this reality.
Were you aware of the talk around Lady Gaga around this time?
Yes.
Okay, so like I said, I brought up the Illuminati shit before, and people were like, Lady Gaga's Illuminati. And the other thing was that she was transsexual and that she actually had a penis, which was just wild. There's been rumors about other artists, female artists too. I don't know what it is about just picking out artists and having online rumors that say they have a dick, but she was one of them.
Yeah, it's Lady Gaga and Sierra. I remember there's a big Sierra thing about that too. And if they do, so what? Just Dance slaps all the same.
Exactly. And I think that was her point of really not, saying anything about it. Like, okay, I don't have a dick, guys. I don't have a dick, guys. But it was addressed. It was addressed in the Telephone video at the beginning. So if you haven't seen the Telephone video, this video is set in prison. And when they book Lady Gaga into the prison, they throw her into a cell and then they strip her down naked. And then one of the guards is like, oh, I guess she doesn't have a dick after all. And the other one's like, oh, that's a shame.
Oh man. Lady Gaga just out here. That's how you respond to people that like talk down on you or just like spread rumors. She's out here making fun of herself and them at the same time. I love it.
There were people like looking at her music videos, searching for a bulge. And I just remember this. It was terrible.
Bro, those are the same people that were in my mentions this morning, talking about how The Last Jedi is a bad Star Wars movie. It's the Venn diagram of the same circle. People looking for bulges in Lady Gaga's videos, and people hating in my comments or in my replies about The Last Jedi. Same people.
It's true, man. Fuck 'em.
People.
The Last Jedi was probably the best of the last trilogy.
It was.
Simply because of what they did with Luke Skywalker, and we've talked about this before, but the brilliance of him force ghosting his way to peacefully get the people out of there was just brilliant.
It's genius. We'll do our own. We'll have to do a link up between like 444 and the sequel trilogy at some point. Well, we're gonna do a cross medium link up at some point. It's only a matter of time.
Definitely. Moving on to my next fun fact. This is number 3. So. I talked about her not wanting to just make a simple like reissue and add a couple of songs to the fame. She wanted to make it a standalone project because that's the type of artist she is. She takes a lot of pride in it. And each song in this album represents a different fear monster. And that's kind of why it's called the Fame Monster. The previous album, The Fame, was just talking about trials and tribulations of going after fame and also being famous. And this is just about fear. So Bad Romance, that's what leads you into the album. It's the Fear of Love monster. Alejandro is a Fear of Men monster, which, by the way, when I was sitting down listening to these albums, in Bad Romance, she has a line in French, and then in Alejandro, there's a line in Spanish. So I was like, oh, dude, she's going for it. She's going to say a phrase in every language in this entire album. It didn't happen. I was a little sad about that. And then Monster is the Fear of Sex monster. Speechless, the Fear of Death monster. Dance in the Dark, Fear of Judgment. Telephone, Fear of Suffocation. So Happy I Could Die, which is the Fear of Alcohol or the Addiction monster. And Teeth, which is the Fear of Truth monster.
Ooh, Gaga, let's go.
Yeah, I don't know how the Fear of Truth. I listened to Teeth like 8 times trying to figure out that whole deal. Couldn't figure out how it was the Fear of Truth monster, but we let it ride anyways.
I feel
Gaga as a queen.
Gaga is a queen. And also, it looks like in our waiting room, Auggie, we have our guest for this week's episode. Let's go.
Hey! What's up, Lars?
Of
Hey,
Yam
friends.
Haus. Get him in here.
Hey,
Hey, Lars. What's up?
I don't know if I was actually in the waiting room. I think I just
were
crashed.
you just on?
Oh, yeah, he's on. He's here.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Guys?
Oh, shit.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, here we are. Okay, we're back live again.
Okay,
Hello.
right.
Oh, my
Dude,
gosh.
Augie's phone fell off his hand and then hit the end meeting button.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I was like, did I like crash the servers of the link up listening
Dude.
party?
Yam Haus moves numbers like that.
For real. Okay, where was I, guys? Are we back live again? I just want to clarify.
I don't think I got the notification from Twitch
Right.
that we're live.
We
Dude,
are live.
Twitch.
We are live. Okay, cool.
Hey, Twitch.
We were introducing our guest, Lars from Yam Haus. Woo!
Hello.
Hello, Lars. You're one of our favorite bands, so it's only right that we have you on the podcast to discuss 2 very satanic albums, which we regret in hindsight. We did not know it was going to be like this, and we're sorry for any marketing implications this might have on your band.
I actually really enjoyed the experience of listening to all 3 hours of these 2 records.
Well, we're gonna get into that. Auggie, were we at the 5th fun fact? For Fame Monster?
We're at the 4th.
Or at the 4th?
This is a fun fact for me.
Okay.
And you guys may appreciate this, but Lady Gaga went from singing about masturbation to singing the national anthem at the presidential inauguration just about a week ago. Anything is possible.
It's a glow up we love to see. Where's the Yam Haus jerking it song? Where is it at?
It's deep in one of our servers. I don't know. I think we lost it. We lost the file.
Rest in peace.
Somebody's going to
RIP.
turn up with it in like 5 years and drop it on SoundCloud.
I'm gonna leak it. Straight
go.
up.
Yeah, you should.
Leak is. I like that. Is that irony?
Oh God! Whoa!
Yeah,
whoa,
there's
whoa,
some-
whoa, whoa, whoa.
There's some connection there. There's some linkage. Oh, you got the sound. Yes.
Yeah, we got sounders.
You know what I mean?
You thought we were amateur?
No, this is
No.
very professional. Just don't hit the end meeting button again.
No,
I know.
no more.
Yeah, I should keep the phone out of my hands. This is with all my notes in it. Okay, I'm gonna move on to fun fact number 5 about the oh my god, the fame monster. I'm forgetting everything now. Literally all this talk of masturbation.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah. So here's fun fact 5. The Monsters Ball tour, which was the tour supporting this album, it's actually supposed to be Fame Kills. And Jordan, I'm sure you know this fun fact. She's supposed to be co-headlining with Kanye West.
Oh yeah.
That was supposed to, Monsters Ball was that same one? I thought there were 2 separate ones.
It was supposed to be the Fame Kills. And of course, the reason why he dropped out of this was because he was taking a break from music because he ruined Taylor Swift's evening at the VMAs in that famous incident.
The fallout from the 2010 VMAs is something that I simply cannot fathom. We missed out on Fame Kills. It made Taylor Swift edgy. It made Kanye have to make My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy to save his career, which he did. He could not come back with anything less than a perfect album, and he did.
That's true.
And then it led to all the drama, like with like the phone call and Kim recording it, and then Famous off of Life is Pablo. Yep. Who would have thought? Because I remember watching it and like being like, oh no. As a massive Kanye fan at the time, I was like, this is indefensible. And then I still found a lot of Kanye fans, and myself included, found a way to defend him. To be like, Beyonce did have the best video. He was right.
I defended it. I was like, fuck Taylor. Who's Taylor? I don't give a fuck. Country singer, I don't give a fuck.
And now it's absolutely like Taylor has never did, like, she was, in hindsight, now that we can all see that it was just a game, she was 100% the victim. There's no defense for that, is there? Are we still playing
if Kanye hadn't fallen as low as he has, would you still say that?
I think as a 20, when I turned the corner from an immature, edgy, 19, 20, 21-year-old to, I think around 22, 23, I started thinking like, man, the more I see and the more empathy I learn to have for people, it becomes more and more indefensible.
Methods are important, even if the intentions are pure. Because you're right, Beyonce did have a fire album that year.
Yeah. And the Single Ladies video was one of the best videos of all time. All time.
The video.
Yeah. Yes, EA was right.
That was my defense. Like, was he wrong though? That was my defense. Was he wrong though?
He wasn't wrong, but there's
the methods.
It's the methods. I love that articulation. But also I did like when was it? When Beck won Album of the Year and Kanye came up, shrugged, and then left like he was about to do it again. I thought that was hilarious.
That was great. That was good shit. What is he gonna do now though? Can he do anything like that now? Like, is there any? No,
he can't do it. Like, what would he do?
I'm so lost on Kanye. I can't keep up with Kanye anymore. I don't even know where he's at. What is he up to?
He's trying to build. To talk about Star Wars again, he's trying to build pods like Aunt Beru's house on Tatooine. He's trying to do that.
You're always ready for a Star
people.
Wars link.
I'm always ready.
You're ready to bring it to Tatooine at any time.
That's what he said though. He said he was watching Star Wars. Like, I bet we could use that model to end homelessness. And he bought a bunch of land in Wyoming, and now he's trying to build it. So I could, again, I love his methods to end homelessness. I wish he just didn't do it in such a terrible way.
To save all 5 people that are homeless in Wyoming. That's
okay. You are amazing, out of pocket, Auggie. This is a good mission he's on. We keep a fair strike zone. All right, Lars, Auggie, are you ready for 5 fun facts about Tyler the Creator's Goblin?
Oh yes, please give this to me.
This is going to get interesting. Tyler's whole career is just amazing.
You missed a pretty lengthy discussion about the misogyny and homophobia in this album earlier, so we can we'll get your thoughts on that later on in our in summation segment. How's that sound, Lars?
Great.
If you say one wrong thing, we're canceling you,
dude. I'm not gonna lie. The first thing I was gonna say, I don't think I can listen to Goblin, and I just don't. It just stresses me out. We can talk about it later.
Yeah, that was also my opinion. Number 1, the random guy on the cover, that's a 19-year-old Buffalo Bill. Why? According to oddfuturetalk.com, he had just watched Silence of the Lambs the week before the album cover was to be sent off to XL Recordings, and he really connected with the Buffalo Bill character. Unfortunately, Tyler thought it was a picture of a young Ted Levine, the actor in the movie, not the Old West actual Buffalo Bill.
Either way,
cool.
nobody knew that until you just pointed it out. So cheers to you.
Hey,
Jordan.
and that was from a fan forum post. And I, as a former writer and contributor to a Kanye fan site, there's a lot of real information that happens in there, and they do their research.
Yo, I have to add this because we talked about linking to Star Wars. I think with all 3 episodes that we've put out, I think we've linked to Kanye West somehow.
It's hard not to, given his impact, and it's really regrettable because, like I said, I think it was in the first episode. Whenever you mention Kanye, you have to be like, what he means to you and what your thoughts are on his antics. But the thoughts are he has impacted all genres of music, whether you like it or not. So let's just leave it at that and just know that we condemn the bad things.
Okay,
It's pretty well said, I guess.
Thank
Pretty
you. I've had a lot of
succinct.
time to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
As his former unpaid PR department, I've thought a lot about how I'm going to handle it once I eventually disown him. And
You have
then
to explain yourself.
to quote Tony Stark, we're in the end game.
Yo, was there
are.
a game plan though? Like a game plan for like canceled Kanye as a young Jordan?
No, I just think I've always been one to change my opinion based off new information. And as I was presented with more new information that Kanye sucks, it became undeniable that he just sucks.
I feel like if you looked at the first like 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 years of like Tyler the Creator's career and Kanye, like the chances of one of them being canceled and going mad was pretty equal, I would say.
I thought it was
it's
going
like
to be Tyler.
Exactly. I would have probably said more Tyler based on the antics he was pulling. He's like gone the other routes, like 2 paths diversion of wood,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, like we were talking about how he's really matured artistically, and that's why like at Soundset he didn't play anything pre-Wolf or pre-Cherry Bomb. He was just playing all the new stuff. I think
I've heard he doesn't like Goblin. I've heard that that's a thing.
fun
Sorry.
fact number 2,
right.
Tyler hates this album. He calls it trash.
Hey, I like that.
He says it sucks, but he doesn't regret making it. He would only keep 7 tracks from the album: Yonkers, She, Nightmare, Troncat, Fish, Analog, and AU 79, whatever that is.
AU79 is a banger, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm a Yonkers and She guy. She is just Frank Ocean rapping, going right into singing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That is cool.
That was a really weird noise I made. Ugh. I'm
Because we
sorry.
need a sound bar. That needs to be a sound bar.
Number 3, the backlash against this album and the narrative this part of his career built is the reason why he stopped trolling online. He said he'd rather have the respect of fans who respect artists. And he says, maybe if I stop being funny on the internet, people will focus on my talent. He was correct. He did
Wow.
Yeah. I appreciated him in the early Twitter days, though. I loved following him on Twitter. The account Fuck Tyler was an amazing account to follow. And he was the Lil Nas X of that era, basically.
Whoa.
Wow.
Because Lil Nas X, absolutely brilliant on social media. Tyler was brilliant. They're completely different guys and characters. Like Lil Nas, he's just so lovable. Tyler is the opposite of lovable.
Like
but
a
yeah,
demigod.
they're just brilliant social media people in different times of social media.
Man, they're both trolls. But like I said, Lil Nas X, you see him, but you can't help but to cheer for him. Like, even if he's like kind of putting his foot in his mouth, it's like, okay, like, again, going back to Tyler's words, though, we judged Lil Nas X off his intent, but he has built up enough goodwill. Therefore, we trust his intent more than we trusted Tyler's at the time. Dang,
Absolutely.
we're figuring stuff out tonight.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, let's go.
It's really insightful.
Thank you, Lars. Number 4, Billie Eilish credits Tyler for making her who she is, which I guess is a fearless, bulletproof artist, not like a shock jock type rapper.
Fearless and bulletproof. It's a dangerous combo.
That's what you have to be in the modern age if you're creating, though. You have to put yourself out there. Lars, maybe you could speak to this? How, like, you have to be fearless and bulletproof when you're putting out your art, even on the Yam Haus level, which is pretty significant. How did you wrestle with, people saying like, oh, they're pop bands for Minneapolis moms or whatever, kind of the things we talked about in our prior interviews? How you wrestled with the naysayers and stuff like that?
I mean, I'm kind of at a phase where I'm just grateful to have naysayers. I feel like making it past that point where you're just surrounded by like friends and family that are like, you can do it, is probably like a good sign. But I'm not gonna lie, it's hard, man. I kind of think we suck for real. Like,
Is
not
that the artist's plight though? Like you always want to be better.
maybe. And I have heard things like a guy named Dan Wilson, the lead singer of Semisonic. I like following him. He's got some like Yoda type thoughts regularly, I feel like, in like the artist lane.
Mhm.
And one time, one of his quotes that stuck with me that kind of pertains to this topic is like, if you feel really confident heading into a release, it's probably not that good. And if you feel really insecure and like afraid, you probably made some honest art. So
Ooh,
I guess
okay.
I'm like more insecure about Yam Haus than I've ever been, which maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. We'll find out together.
Wow. Okay.
Dang.
Now I'm excited about this. That needs to be on the liner notes, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, we don't even have we got to get an album first, and hearing like Tyler the Creator's like inspiration for the album art being like a week before they send it makes me like relax. Like honestly, I can just keep my eyes open until like a drop date. And we just drop and we go and we say it was intentional and it's all part of the plan. Buffalo
And then it
Bill.
becomes a fun fact for when we cover a Yam Haus album on the podcast in 2027. I can't wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to number 5, the album featured every member of Odd Future except for Earl Sweatshirt, who famously was attending Coral Reef Academy at the time, which is a therapeutic boarding school for young boys who may have lost their way, which led to the rather large and infamous social media movement to Free Earl.
Free
Yes.
Earl!
Free Earl.
I saw that. That's weird. Why was he there? Like,
I think-
who sent him there?
I think
His mom.
it was his mom was
Oh, really?
scared of his mom was scared of Odd Future and what they were doing, what they were rapping about. And at the time I was like, oh, the mom is holding him down. In hindsight, I totally understand. Again, as I approach 30, which is a wild sentence to say, as
Wow.
someone who remembers 5th grade, like it was like that. Like as I approach 30, if my son was out here, I would probably entertain doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
And I get that. I understand that. But also on the other part of it is like part of being a parent is just letting your kids just open their wings and fly. And she held him back for better, for worse. She held him back at that moment. And now that he was able to spread his wings, like he's such a respected lyricist and people love him and he's famous in his own right. The guy's super successful now.
Think about the time though, like in 2010, this is the whole be careful what you say on the internet. This could ruin your career now. Like it was type of that stuff. So think about your spoken word, your rap, your voice saying these things on the internet in a time where supposedly the end of your career, if that came out. Now we got a member of Congress who's posting wild stuff, or she was posting wild stuff on Facebook all the time, and she gets to be a congresswoman.
We got presidents saying stuff, ex-presidents.
That is true. That is true.
It's like
so,
that's like not true.
yeah. Whoa. So yeah, maybe Auggie, maybe you're right. But I think given the time and the context, I could see how she got there, but it's clearly not true because people have been keeping their jobs.
Lady Gaga has shown us anything is possible, sir. So you just gotta do it.
I would like it if Lady Gaga was involved. Actually, no, I was gonna say I wish she was involved in the presidency at some point or like in the government, but that's like
You
that's
never
like
know.
the liberal problem is relying on celebrity too much.
Yeah.
So we don't want that. We don't want that. We tried a celebrity president, it went horrible. No more.
Yeah. No more celebrity presidents.
Man,
No more. Okay, let's move on to the gateway drug. Lars, the gateway drug is the bit where we pick a song for someone that's never heard of this album before, and it can't be a radio single to introduce the album. So we get one song to convince someone to listen to this album.
okay.
It's a gateway drug in audio form.
So I always struggle with this a lot, except for the last time. Like it was obvious would take care, but this time here's the ones I have to take out. On the Fame Monster, the singles are Bad Romance, Telephone, and Alejandro, which
Such
all
a banger.
banging
slappers.
ass songs. So going through this EP, I'm thinking like I need something that my radio programming brain would put on the radio, but also is going to tell us about this. And I came down to Teeth, which is the last song at the end there, and tell me this, am I wrong? Is there country vibes in this? Like there's definitely country music vibes in Teeth. And I think that informed her later album where she kind of went that way.
With a shallow.
Joe or Shallow or yeah.
What's
It's
that
like about
one?
her
Like
grandma?
oh no, You and I. where it's like that bluesy country. I hate country. Lady Gaga is the queen of the genre with you and I. Let's go.
Absolutely.
So, but I settled on Monster.
Joanne.
Because
Yeah.
Teeth is. Yes, Joanne is the one. That's the one.
Mhm.
But yeah, I settled on Monster because Teeth is really just striking musically with the rest of them, and Monster really gets you into the groove, and Monster's a banger as well.
Monster is a slapper. So for Goblin, I couldn't pick She, Yonkers, or Sandwiches. There is no good song. There's no good gateway drug. So I went with the intro track Goblin because it really sums up what the album's about. The beat's gorgeous. The lyrics are really scary. And if you like this song, you're going to like the album. If you don't like the song, you're not going to like the album. I did not like this song, so I did not like the album.
Dude, I didn't like it either, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was glad to do the homework. It was fun to focus, but there's no way I'm throwing Goblin on in my life.
Never
for
again.
Fun. Yeah.
We're talking about when he says things, like you feel this tension in your neck. Kind of like, like when there's an NERD song and that snare, like Pharrell's snare makes you go, ooh, like this, like with your neck. Yeah. It's like that. It's like Pharrell's snare, but with really offensive words, which is not a pleasant experience.
So clearly you guys, I have this thing where I can kind of like tune out like the lyrics and I can listen to an album just kind of for what it is musically. I was able to do that. I was able to do that with this. So I didn't hate it nearly as much, but when I was in focus, I'm like getting punched in the face every time I hear, but I'll say this. I'm not going to put this is probably gonna be the last time I listen to it on my Spotify. Yes, we have to compare this to something else, or I don't know. Yeah.
I just picture
lovely...
me on Lars. Public Spotify. Someone's like Lawrence Pruitt is listening to "Bitches Suck Dick" or something like that. I'm like, oh, right on. Like, hope he's having a good day.
I love that Yam Haus song, "Mama." What's their lead singer listening to? Oh my god. All right, let's move on to One's Gotta Go, shall we?
Yes, sir.
All right, Lars, you can play for both sides of this. So One's Gotta Go is where we give 4 things pertaining to the artist's career, ideally around this time in their career, and we have to say 4 things. One of those things has to go, and we have to pick the thing that would impact their career the least. We are still workshopping this bit. Okay, we have room for the what? This is the 4th bit. We have room for it. We haven't found out if this is the one yet. So we're still workshopping. One's Got to go. Which I
like this bit.
About.
I personally like this bit. I think this one needs to stay because it's fun. It's a fun
bit.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
Okay, all right, so I'm gonna start with Auggie and Lars. One's Got to go for Lady Gaga's career around 2009 to 2011. Are we ready, everyone?
I'm ready.
Yeah. If there's meat dresses, it's staying. All the meat dresses are staying.
That's number 1. She never wears the meat dress.
Okay.
It's got to stay. It's an important moment.
Number 2, I broke my own rule. She never stars in A Star Is Born. Number 3, she never records her 2014 jazz album Cheek to Cheek with Tony Bennett. Number 5, the Monster Ball tour never happens. Which one is it? I swear to God, if you guys say the one I know you guys are going to say.
I know what I would say. My gut right away. Like, this is the one that's got to go, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She can. I'm good with Bradley Cooper and the whole like shallow thing not happening. That doesn't change the Lady Gaga I know and love.
I agree.
Thank God. I thought you were going to say she never records her 2014 jazz album Cheek to Cheek with Tony Bennett.
No. Her and Tony Bennett like vibing and she's like crying like, this is my favorite guy. Like, and she was at a weird point, in her career. It was kind of like an inflection.
Big Italian American vibes with that one, man. That one needs to stay. Dude, Come on, dude.
That's how I like evangelize my grandparents into listening to Lady Gaga.
Do you like Cheek to Cheek?
Yeah, I'm
Here's
like
Alejandro.
Tony Bennett. Yeah, check out this beautiful vocalist, Lady Gaga, and here's her song Alejandro. Love Game. Let's have some fun. This beat is sick. Come on, Grandma.
I want to push back about the Star Is Born thing because it is crazy. Because after Joanne, people thought Joanne flopped, even though it was a cool alternative. It was really alt rock and country. I don't know if it was like country adjacent, but it was definitely like alty.
It's like Americana almost.
Yeah, that's country.
Americana.
Americana is country. Like
Americana is real country.
That's the kind of country we like. We applaud Americana.
Fair enough. So Joanne had some Americana vibes, but she had kind of fallen off from the pop mainstream. Auggie, like you and I were talking about how everyone underrates Lady Gaga, even though she's one of the perennial pop all-stars of our generation.
Yeah.
I feel like A Star Is Born kind of poured more gas onto her fire, kind of rejuvenated it, and also showed that she's a phenomenal actress.
Okay, that's fair.
So-
I'll push back on that though. My brother, Victor, very noted Lady Gaga fan. He was on her since day one. He evangelized Lady Gaga. He's like, she's brilliant. She's the next big thing. She's awesome. You got to hear this. And he told me, I got off the phone with him earlier just to kind of talk about what his thoughts and stuff. And he said that he stopped following her career at the time of A Star Is Born. He wasn't into it at all.
Okay, that's like saying I stopped watching the Lakers after their 20th title. Okay, but you were along for the ride, dude. You can't say that was
I'm with Auggie on this one. I think Star Is Born is like vanilla baby's milk for like the masses that are all traumatized by late stage capitalism. I think our standard of a good movie has gone down so hard since like the 70s, 80s that that's my humble opinion. I mean, there's still great movies out there, but like the big blockbusters are super hit or miss for me that like get a lot of commercial success. And I thought her acting performance was like C, like she got a C. She passed the class and I'm not inspired and she did it right, but I'm not like stoked.
Okay, I'm gonna out myself here a little bit. I haven't seen the movie. I just read reviews.
You gotta see it, bro.
I just read reviews that said she was good. So I don't know. I was trying to.
Maybe
Wow,
it's
you did
because
not
I'm-
synthesize your own opinion, Jordan. Dude, what? Oh my god.
do the sound effects. Yeah.
Damn, I'm a hypocrite. Oh no.
Canceled.
Oh no.
He's down for me. His box is down. Cancel that.
Dang.
We gotta end this now, man. It's
Yeah, that was a
over. I
good
can't.
chat.
Podcast is done. No more. This is it.
Yep. It had a good
Hold
run.
on. Well, Lars, I want to go back to your point about blockbusters and stuff. What about like the Marvel movies? What about
I think that's just textbook sensationalist escapism that I think is like, admirable in its scope. And they did it. I mean, it's really hard to do that. I'm not like ragging on the, army of creatives and people that made those come to life in a powerful way. But like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like rooting for the Patriots or something. I don't know. But I like pieces of Marvel. And I'm not mad about Marvel. I'm not mad that people liked Star Is Born. I'm not like trying to like, ran everybody's parade.
Honestly, you sound pissed.
I'm pretty pissed, but I'm trying to cool it. I'm trying to cool it back. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being overly cynical.
No, I feel it. I think blockbusters have really fallen off.
Blockbuster has fallen off, sir.
Blockbuster has fallen off. Like the big summer blockbusters, though, they don't exist anymore because of that's not how we consume media anymore.
Right.
We're looking for The Mandalorian. We're looking for WandaVision.
Yeah.
We're looking for Breaking Bads. We're looking for.
Give me an 8-hour movie split up into 1-hour chunks, dude. That's fire. Like a
No,
really
dude, because we're getting that with the Justice League's Snyder cut, and it's gonna suck. There's no way like the Snyder cut's gonna be good, which is also a superhero.
Have you
movie,
seen
but-
WandaVision? Have you watched that?
I'm all caught up. I love it.
I
like it.
like it too. I'm like, what? I'm like just so surprised and like happily like what is happening.
I like the use of genre as a plot device. I think that's really unique. It's usually like it's time or like character development,
Yes.
but the fact that they're using like the sitcom thing to show what's going on with Wanda. Spoilers, I guess. Like it's genius.
Yeah, we won't go that deep into spoiler territory, but brilliant, absolutely brilliant. What's going on so far?
All right, one's got to go. Tyler the Creator, me
All
and
right.
Lars versus Augustine.
All right, here we go, guys. So this once again explaining the bit. One's got to go based off the periphery of the album. Yonkers, of course, a lot of people know Tyler the Creator off the song Yonkers. Lead, I don't know if it was the lead single, but definitely a single, big single. The Neptunes. He's very Neptunes inspired. So that's number 2, and you can hear it all over this album, by the way.
Yeah,
you can
chord progression's crazy.
Damn near every song. Number 3, Earl being at boarding school. Of course, you talked about the craze of Earl being at boarding school, and that really like went viral. But everybody knew Earl was gone, and we needed a free Earl, but not everybody knew why. And then number 4, ending the blog era. You listen to this album, and he's taking shots, and the previous album, Bastard, he's taking shots at Two Dope Boys and other blogs, and I feel like the demise of the blog era was pretty much that year or around that time, and I think that he was one of the catalysts, one of the things that led to ending the blog era.
All right, let me break these down. Lars, interject if you disagree. But the Neptunes are so influential in how he creates music and his drum choices and his chord progressions. I don't think you can get rid of the Neptunes, so they stay.
I agree.
Yonkers has to stay.
I agree.
What was the last one you said?
I know my answer.
As do I. As far as ending the blog era, I think that was going to happen regardless, given the rise of streaming. Therefore, Earl can be on this album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think Tyler's personality isn't the type where like just because his best friend Earl is around and available for like a verse or two means that like the whole direction of the album changes. Like I feel like Tyler's a pretty dominant creative, so he's still going to do his thing, but there'll be a cool Earl feature and people will clap. If anything, like I don't know. I don't think that would have like changed the game.
Yeah.
It would have been like a nice, like it was nice to have him on the record.
You ready to go for the heat here, Jordan?
I'm going to beat you this week. I'm sorry, but I will.
I like
the link
this.
up, baby. I won last week. Jordan's going to go down 2 weeks in a row. I'm ready for this.
Also, I don't have, so if you're on Twitch, you're missing the Marvin's Room cover. It will be on the podcast at the end. It's recorded. It's ready to go.
Dude, I wanted to
You're
hear
not gonna get that on Twitch.
I haven't even heard it yet. I was hoping to hear it right now. You can't just
You'll hear it.
plug
We'll do a
in and
separate.
play.
We'll do a separate bit.
You like a preview or?
There's already a preview on last week's podcast.
Oh,
All right,
my
all right.
God.
But also, I do a
It's a
Tom
good
Blonde
plug.
impression during the chorus, and it's bad. So
Wow.
it's bad. It turns into Oasis. You'll see. You'll hear. So
I'm pumped.
Lars, you'll be judging our links. All right. So we're going to link together Tyler and Gaga by as many links as possible. As soon as Lars gives the we are done. That's
Okay.
it. There are no room for strikeouts. You have to get on base every single time. So Lars, you judge the links. If you like it, you say, you verbalize ding. If you don't like it, you say
Okay. And the first ends it
The first
Yep.
ends it.
like for the night.
Yep.
Yeah. You
my
if
gosh.
whoever you give the buzzer to, they lose. So
Wow. It's like one and done, single elimination.
Yes.
Wow.
And then should we get the punishment now or should we get the punishment after?
I like the punishment after.
I like the
that.
punishment after
I like
too.
not knowing. This is a good
Yeah.
feel. It gives a little bit of excitement. There's
Yeah.
something to fight for right now.
I'm with it. All right. I went first last week, Auggie. So this is you.
All right. Both of these artists on these albums, Fame Monster and Goblin, speak freely of masturbation.
Do I say ding? Is that
You gotta
it?
say ding or
Oh, ding. That's great. That's great.
Okay.
There it is. Both albums have images of a cross on the cover.
Wow. That's true. The necklace and the forehead.
Wow.
Ding.
All right. Both of these artists have starred in TV shows.
Tyler with his like little solo thing that he did.
Yeah, what was it called? Loiter
Like
Squad.
Jackass.
Loiter Squad.
Loiter Squad.
Mhm.
And then-
Gaga with American Horror Story.
Oh, that's right.
yeah. All right. Yeah, that's good.
And she was on RuPaul's Drag Race as a judge. Let's go. To Augie's link.
Wow.
Hey, love it.
Tyler or Jordan gets the assist.
I'm here to help. I'm an appreciator of good links. It's been
Nice.
the defining thing of my career. All right, here we go. Lady Gaga famously wore a meat dress. You can put meat in a sandwich. Track 9 from Goblin.
I'll give it to you.
Let's go.
All right. Here we go. Turn up the heat. Both artists, Tyler and Stephanie, both openly bisexual.
Wow. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, but if
And
I said,
not at
hey,
the
both
time,
are,
not at the time of Goblin.
but like, what if I said, okay, both artists are straight?
Mm,
I mean,
For like, we did Taylor and Joey Badass, and I said both artists are straight.
I don't have receipts on any of the like public discourse really besides Tyler. I know that like in some songs on Flower Boy and stuff, he like alluded to it.
I'm
But
talking
I
about
don't-
other artists though that like are heterosexual.
Oh, sure. That
I
wouldn't
don't know,
be like
Augie. You're on thin ice.
but
Both
it goes
artists
with
are
their
humans.
identity because Lady Gaga is a famous LGBTQ supporter. You know what I'm saying? Born This Way was a big vibe for all my
slapper,
folks.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely an identity thing. But I get your point. I get
Yeah,
your
that's-
point because there's no sexuality.
yeah, that's
Straight
good.
people. You know.
I hear you,
Okay,
Jordan.
so if I said Tyler and Gaga both have fingers, is it fine?
So yeah, we're basing this off both accuracy and style.
Okay.
And that's accurate. And I do think it is interesting because Tyler has had a bit of a wrestle with it publicly in terms of
That's true.
talking about it.
Yeah, it's
I would
definitely a
say.
big
That's true.
thing. Big thing for
I don't
him.
mean to trivialize the
it's-
discussion around it. I'm this is again, I'm a savant of links. I'm judging the quality of the link,
Yeah,
but I
you
got a
gotta-
good one.
All right.
So
You
what
got
say you,
track
Lars?
six. Huh?
I'll give you a ding on that. Let's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
All right. Track 16 on Goblin is burger. You can make a burger out of the meat Lady Gaga wore as a dress during the 2010 VMAs.
You just
It's
used
like-
that.
It's like you just went the other direction.
No, I said a sandwich. But I told,
No,
this
you,
is
went
a
meat, you went meat dress sandwich, then you went one of the tracks of the Tyler record back to
yeah.
the
I
meat
can't. It's not my
dress.
fault that Tyler had both sandwich and burger on the album. Okay,
I'll give it to you because it's accurate and kind of funny.
let's go.
But we're getting deep now.
Yeah.
Everybody's on thin ice right now.
Okay.
Okay,
all
fair
right.
enough.
No more grace dings. I'm gonna start getting aggressive.
All right.
All right. Okay. Then I have to go. Here. Tyler. No. I'm gonna go with this one.
Oh, he's nervous. He's
Frank
nervous.
Ocean. Frank Ocean appeared on Superpower with Beyonce, who appears on Telephone on Beyonce's or on Lady Gaga's album, and of course Frank Ocean, famously part of Odd Future on Goblin.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll give that to you.
I had a couple here that involved the meat dress. I think I need to get away from that though.
Dang, you went
meat-
deep with the meat.
He's in the meat dress folder. It's like there's like 30 options.
We'll go away from that one. We'll go with this one. Analog is a type of synth. Analog is a track from Goblin. Synths are the primary instrument on the Fame Monster.
That's good. Yeah,
Boom.
that was one of the first things I would have talked about with like these two records. It's like synth party.
Mm.
Dude, the synth game, crazy. And just even like the super synthesis of Lady Gaga's album, you can hear just like the grittiness of the synth. Like again, like we were talking about Sophie, how Sophie can make synthetic sound like metal clashing against each other. I love good synth work.
Yep.
All right,
All right.
Auggie.
All right, here we go. Tyler, the Creator, stands Pharrell in the Neptunes, who in turn stand Teddy Riley, who produced Teeth on Fame Monster.
That's good. That's good. That's I mean, I didn't even know that. So I'm believing you.
That's the downfall of this bit.
Hey, you
Auggie
know.
could use his sly
I
and
mean-
friendly face to pull some
Yeah.
shenanigans. And
It's
I
the
don't
truth,
like it.
though.
Seeds. I believe you. I believe
All
you.
right. Okay, how about this one? Both artists have weird pop culture moments with Kanye West. Kanye famously tweeted that weird fake Does He Like Mustard Rolling Stone cover, which was shot by Tyler, the Creator. And then Kanye has the classic,
Because look at Gaga. She's the creative director of Polaroid. I like some of the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she know about cameras?
from his interview with Zane Lowe in 2016.
I forgot about that.
That's good. I'll give that to you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It works because of photos right there. So cheers
Yeah.
to that. I like that.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's a double link. I get 2 dings. I take the next
Double
round
ding.
off.
Otherwise, I would have protested. I would have protested a little bit if it weren't for the photos things. All
Fair
right. So I like this one. So I have to preface this because Lady Gaga's very first single in her career was Just Dance, or at least the first famous single was Just Dance featuring Colby O'Donis. And when we were talking about doing this podcast, I was thinking in my head, like, what happened to Colby O'Donis? Where's he at? Like, is he alive? Is he around? And I checked his Instagram and turns out he's like producing commercials and stuff. So he's still out here. It's still cool. So cheers to him.
You can't ding yourself.
We're
No.
dinging Colby O'Donis.
I'm dinging Colby O'Donis for still being around. He's still alive. He's still doing things. He's not really working in music. He's working in film, and that's cool. Then I went to go check to see if Lady Gaga still follows him, if they still have a relationship. She doesn't follow Colby O'Donis, and neither does Tyler, the Creator, on Instagram. Oh,
Come on.
You could link me to that. I don't follow
Yeah.
either.
Did you do the Joaquin Phoenix this bit?
I thought about. I was like,
Let's go.
dang it. My other one was the other one I had in my pocket that I was holding on to was they both like wigs.
ooh,
Oh, that would have been
yeah.
better.
Especially like literally that cover, at least the one that's on the deluxe edition. She's got that like Sia type vibe. Sia type vibe. And Tyler with
siesta
that
type vibe.
siesta, taking a nap. Yeah.
So here are a couple of my backup links that I had. I had Lady Gaga had Alejandro. Tyler the Creator had Tamale on this album. No, that was on Wolf, but
No,
still.
dude.
And then I also had track 18 on Goblin is steak sauce. You can put steak sauce on meat like Lady Gaga's meat dress.
You're just getting so much mileage out of the meat dress. I love
Dude,
it.
the meat dress is fire. So
I love the meat dress.
I win like I predicted because I got it like
Congrats.
that. Thank you. What is Augie's punishment, Lars?
Augie, I'm very excited. I don't know if I need to set a time frame, but at some point you need to, whether it's from the link up page or your own page, you need to live stream a 30-minute Zumba class where you're the instructor. Because Zumba is a big part of my, at least former artistic identity that's brought Yam Haus to this place where on stage, I think it's fun to just like get people moving. And I think aerobics are good, and pandemic, people need some reasons to get the blood flowing. So you're going to need to look into how to like teach some Zumba. And then for like 30 minutes and you have to have like good attire on. That's like, like matches
Workout
the
clothes?
Zumba vibe. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So are you saying that I have to get like the tights that like kind of go over your shoulder?
Yeah. I would appreciate some tights of some kind, some sort of spandex on some part of your body would be very good.
Our former coworkers Zeke and Reed did a Zumba class. So
Really?
yes, they did one on the old radio station account. So Augie, you have a point of reference for this.
All right. I'm doing a Zumba. Let's go. And I need to work out. This gives me a great excuse. So thank you, Lars.
Yeah. I figured
Don't turn this into a positive. This is incredibly embarrassing.
Stop it. I really love this. This is a great one.
Honestly, yeah, it's definitely like a reward more than anything. So
fitness is the gift that keeps giving back. All right, let's move on to In Summation. This is the bit where we let our guests shine and we kind of summarize the things that don't really fit in any of our bits. So Lars, what do you think about these albums? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Let's have a more long form discussion of some things we hit on.
I loved the Fame Monster, and I've loved, and I continue to love that album. My sister evangelized my family into Lady Gaga, kind of like early high school, late middle school for her, like middle school for me. And I just remember being blown away at just like the sensationalism of it all. So love that. Do not like Goblin. Almost on every level. Like I was gonna say this earlier, like we're throwing shade on the music or on the lyrics, but I don't really even like the production all that much. It's sort of like listening to, I don't know, I can respect it because it's sort of like listening to, early forms of, as music progresses, there's like, moments where people are pushing the envelope. But I heard a lot of like the production and the beats on it. And I'm like, this sounds like somebody like just hopping on GarageBand for the first time. And they're like kind of stoned, but they're like kind of hitting a beat and it's like super simple. And I don't know, it works for Tyler. It's Tyler. And I feel like it's really cool considering how far he's progressed since then. Mm-hmm. But you add in the misogyny, the homophobia, just like, it kind of reminded me, and I hate to do this, it almost reminded me of like early Eminem, just like knee jerk, like trying to like freak, like be a menace to society. And I'm just not in a place in my life where I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, you're not alone in that. A lot of reviewers said that, yeah, Eminem did this 15 years ago. This isn't nothing new. This is just shock rap. And I remember when this came out in high school, a lot of people were like, yeah, this is sick. This is so great. And I guess I had a tolerance for it just because, I'm like, I was thinking about myself personally. I was throwing around F-word homophobic version until like 2009. So this is like 2 years after my coming to of like, hey, I shouldn't say this word anymore.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of like when everyone, that conversation became much more widespread on a mainstream level. Yeah. But it's like, I'm not moved by shock. I don't like to see Saw movies where people's fingers are getting cut off in traps. And I equate that to this.
What's funny is I do like horrorcore or whatever that they call that. Like they call Yonkers horrorcore. That's like the genre. Means. I don't know what it means either. But I do like ridiculous horror movies. And I saw some pretty interesting things in like for instance, with the Fame Monster, it talks a lot about how she was obsessed with like how in a lot of like horror movies that are really intense, there's always like this theme of death and sex. and like together, you put them together, and I feel like that's Goblin for sure. It's just like all death and sex, and like so I could get behind it in theory because I think there's an abrasiveness and an acknowledgement of that side of life that I think is really healthy and like cool. But there's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it, obviously.
Yeah, the method, like you said. I mean, those are two very visceral human things, right? So
yeah.
And if anything is human, it's worthy of being explored in art. It's just, man, I don't know if it needs to be that tasteless.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And basically, you're with these two albums, you're seeing two people at two different moments in their life, right? Like Lady Gaga, really polished at this point in her career. You know, she did everything from writing songs for people like that rejected her, like Britney Spears. But
which is
she
crazy.
She had a highly successful album. She's an amazing songwriter and knew it. And I think Tyler was exploring how to create music, but he knew how to get people's attention.
Right.
So he did it well. I mean, summarizing his career just outside of music, absolutely brilliant. He cultivated his fan base like a cult, you know, with the Odd Future Golf Wang, the OG Odd Future, what is it? Kill Them All or whatever. How's it go?
Yeah. He created the prototype for social media marketing before that was even a term that could be said seriously in a boardroom.
Yeah. And he had, Loiter Squad. He was on TV. He was servicing his fans in a way that like Eminem wasn't fucking doing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yam Haus is following the Odd Future protocol with the vlogs, with the constant drops, with knowing what the base wants, keeping the base informed, inside jokes. How is Yam Haus, besides topics, how is the strategy any different between Yam Haus and Odd Future? Really?
Yeah, it's just a different vernacular.
Yes, and I'm very thankful for that because I don't think I could be your friend anymore. You were out here doing some of that stuff.
Obviously, the homophobia and misogyny is different, but even we're just like such little pretty suburban boys who like high five and don't swear that much.
Yeah, but like who are Odd Future fans though, especially at that time, suburban boys.
Right, I know it's so interesting. Yeah, I would love to hear how. Somebody in the LGBTQ community, I would love to hear an LGBTQ person's take on Tyler.
I actually am working. I tried to DM someone about that and they have not gotten back to me, which is why they're not on the podcast. But I would love to have a follow-up podcast about this.
Yeah.
With a member of the community, because I think we're all missing that perspective. And we can only talk about from.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the right word. We're talking about it
from our seat.
From our seat, and
our
we know it's bad.
Privileged seat, very poisoned, corrupted, privileged seat, which is why I'm like, anyways, my take, giving my offering my voice to the zeitgeist of making the world a better place is sort of counterintuitive.
Yeah, but it's good to acknowledge that something is bad and we can grow from it. And we don't need to. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's how I feel when I listen to it. I honestly felt like gross after I listened to Goblin. Which I guess that's good art in the sense it made me feel something for sure. And I'm sure, Tyler, there was some intentionality to that, which kudos to the artiste for making me feel something that he tried to make me feel, I'm sure. But I just don't like feeling that way from a commercial standpoint. I'm not buying that album to listen to it on my vinyl player.
Yeah. I wrote this down. I this is a little paragraph I wrote. I can't recommend Goblin to anybody. I don't see much value in it, especially given how groundbreaking and challenging Tyler's new stuff is without being so grotesque. I think we could have lived without this album. Tyler could have easily gone from Bastard to Wolf to Cherry Bomb to Flower Boy to Igor with no problem. Yes, we're losing Yonkers if that were the case, but I'm sure something from Wolf like Tamale or Awkward would have broken through all the same.
Also, side note, I remember having a visceral experience with Yonkers as a kid or whatever, like how I was like probably 8th, 9th grade, 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was a junior in high school, 2011.
Yeah, I was saying, like, I'm not that much older than you.
I just feel like a kid. I just feel emotionally unstable at that time. I still feel emotionally unstable. Okay. I remember watching that music video and having I was very inspired and blown away at just like how much that like freaked me out in a good way.
It was it was really scary.
It was. Mm-hmm. When he so anyways, also what did Haley Williams and B.O.B. and
Airplanes?
What did they do to him? Why is he so mad?
Oh, Bruno Mars.
He just hated he just hated over commercialization, which how dare you come from my queen Haley? Sorry, I know my wife's my queen, but like How dare you come for Haley? I
know. Has she ever spoken about that? Like, has she ever like addressed the Tyler shade?
That's great. Haley Williams on.
Because I know Bruno did. I know there was like, he did like a No Future song or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
Huh.
Yeah.
I want to hear that. I haven't heard that.
Spoken. Haley has not spoken on this.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm good. I don't need to be part of this.
Right.
I could see them being friends.
Yeah, honestly, honestly, to your point, Auggie, like he's just being a fuckboy to be a fuckboy and to try to like rouse people up.
Yeah.
Which again, like I don't want to use that as like a defense. It still is lame.
Yeah.
But I do think there's some intention to it, and I think he's grown past it for sure.
And it worked because without this album, you're saying maybe he would have broke through with Tamale, but maybe he wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like,
yeah,
Yonkers was what grabbed my attention. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, he's an 18-year-old kid. Like,
yeah,
he can really rap, and this shit is like making me feel away. He's eating a cockroach on this music video
and
like,
vomiting.
Yeah,
it's so wild. Like the silhouette of his vomit. Like what?
Yeah. So I you know what? And because this didn't fit in anywhere, and I want to bring this up and ask you about this.
Okay.
And you may not have heard this in the album, but on the song AU79, which is an instrumental song, and thank God for the instrumental songs, by the way, because there's a couple of them on there, and we really needed the break.
Palette cleanser.
and this album is like an hour and a half or some shit. And I just have to remark on the fact that the blog era and the post CD era, artists were like, oh yes, I'm not constricted by having a set amount of time to make my album in, but it really made albums worse for in some cases, because like, we don't need you to make all these songs for an hour and a half. Yeah, you're free to do it, but why should you do that? Why should we have to sit through an hour and a half of your content?
This is when like, this was like we're still kind of in the Wild West of the social media era, but this is also the Wild West of music making hitting the mainstream in a big way. You could download a cracked version of FL Studio and you have the same tools as Lex Luger or Hit Boy. You could be out there. You didn't need a full room of $100,000 of equipment. You had a program you downloaded from the Pirate Bay. Mm-hmm. We've all been there, as I point directly into the webcam. We all infected our family's desktop computer with stuff from the Pirate Bay. We've all been there. It's a shared experience. So I think we're seeing kids in this time mess around with 9-minute songs with stuff they downloaded, professional grade equipment downloaded, and they're doing it. So
Goblin sounds like a creative version of that. Like just like the best version of that you could do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like you said, it sounds like someone messing around in GarageBand, because they were. They were at this time.
Yeah, definitely. But my question for you guys surrounding the song AU79, there was a rumor that said Drake and The Weeknd stole that beat for the song The Ride on Take Care, which we covered last week.
Whoa.
Yeah, like they stole the beat for it. Do you think that this was true?
I need to hear it.
I wish it were, but no.
And they claim that they didn't. Like they've addressed this, The Weeknd said that. But here's my thing: Drake's a known thief. It's entirely possible that he did steal it.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, actually, now we go back to it because Drake stole those songs from The Weeknd, or he kind of forced them out of The Weeknd's hand. So maybe he did with Tyler too. Have Drake and Tyler ever done a song together? Because I would love that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Why has that not happened?
Remember, Drake did get booed off stage at Camp Flog Gnaw, though.
Dude.
So,
he's probably not allowed to hop on a Tyler spot anytime soon.
Oh my! Maybe Drake thought it was funny, didn't he? He thought it was like, yeah, it is what it is. He did like.
That's true. Drake is growing in self-awareness, which I appreciate. I feel like that last music video where he was like making fun of himself crying, I really appreciated that, because it's like, dude, you can't just like you can't like act like there's not you contain multitudes, bro, and that's okay.
Yeah, dude. I saw a video where I saw a meme. This is totally tangential, but I saw a meme where they put the God's Plan video in reverse. Like, God's Plan in reverse is the most savage shit I've ever seen. It's Drake taking money away from people. And it got
literally
me.
stealing groceries from them.
Yeah.
Just watching in reverse.
Oh, it's the best.
That's brilliant.
Do we have any we're kind of harping on, we're trying to analyze Tyler in a way that I don't think we really can until his career's over. Should we move on to Gaga? Let's discuss Gaga. Now, how do we feel about this album? Because my thoughts on Gaga are astronomically positive.
Yeah. So this part's tougher than the Tyler part because like there's just so much more to talk about. Gaga is extremely talented, and Lars, I said this earlier. I feel like we haven't reached Lady Gaga as an artist has not reached her potential yet, which is crazy to say.
Wow.
Because I amended that and I said that maybe I think that she's underrated. People keep expecting more from her because she's never really, she's always in the conversation, whether it's Just Dance or A Star Is Born or Inauguration or Super Bowl halftime show. She's always going to deliver something that we've never seen before. And people have just grown to expect that. Kind of like the same way to go back to frickin' Kanye. We always expected him to blow our minds with every album, whether we liked it or not.
It is tough to exist in that space and still have a career that lasts and you don't go crazy. So kudos to her for being in that arena and still doing it for as long as she has. I think she's brilliant. I think you're probably right, but I also think she has that sort of talent where it's sort of like she could be anything at any time. Look, I mean, she could make a fire Americana track. She could make an unbelievable glam rock song. She could make a Charlie XCX before Charlie XCX song.
Stop it. Don't tempt me with awesomeness.
I know, like there's tracks in there that are like, oh, this is Charlie XCX, like before Charlie.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I think in hindsight, when I went back to the Fame Monster and all these amazing songs that we heard on the radio for 3 straight years, she had an incredible radio run.
Oh yeah. It was annoying, by the way. I was annoyed by Lady Gaga. I was annoyed by her. I couldn't stand Alejandro at the time. I fucked that and bad. I couldn't stand those songs.
Well, 2009 to 2011 in my mind is the best era for top 40s music because at that time we had Gaga going crazy. We had Katy Perry, Teenage Dream. Like we had Kesha as well. It was the best time for pop music because it was just the best type of pop. It was
the extravagant, the sensationalist pop was hot.
Yeah, Bieber was giving us like Beauty and a Beat and stuff. Oh, it was just the best. But going back to it, like I really think Lady Gaga captured the moment of that maximalist synthy driving 4 on the floor pop with some like I lost my train of thought. This is the brain injury at work.
Well, she throws like Queen in there, bro. I mean, like they literally, I mean, like 70s, 80s glam rock is on this record as well, which is wild.
Yeah. It was nice to see like a thematic album succeed in that era that was also could be radio dominant, but also have that cohesion. That to walk the artistic and commercial line like a tightrope and succeed rarely happens, and she did it. So shouts out to Gaga.
It's brilliant because you talk about the cohesion and the cohesion is definitely felt. It's seamless. But the thing is that when you listen to the Fame Monster on Spotify, you get the deluxe edition, which the Fame is included on it. And if you listen to this, you hear everything from piano ballads to country songs to disco to rap to, you know what I'm saying? Like 4 on the floor, fucking EDM type vibes. Like you're getting everything and it sounds fine. You're getting like a No Doubt song at the end of the Fame. There's like a No Doubt song. Summer Boy is a song.
True.
It's definitely, she sounds like Gwen Stefani in there. And like, and I'm sure she made that thinking like, I like No Doubt. I'm going to make a No Doubt song and I'm going to put it on my album and it's going to be cool. And like, you know, people compare to Madonna. Yeah, she sounds like Madonna on Paparazzi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, she's literally anything she wants to be, and it's amazing.
Which is her greatest blessing. So oftentimes, our greatest blessing can be our greatest curse, and I feel that for Lady Gaga. Like, I feel like she can have artistic paralysis because I'm sure when she's trying to dig into some inspiration well inside of her, she can picture like 8 different routes it could go. And that's got, as much as that's a huge win and why she's probably so successful, it's also, I feel like one of her biggest challenges probably is like pick a direction, which good for her this made me want to listen to like Joanne, like even Chromatica. I haven't listened to that. It looks like
Chromatica's good.
Is it? I've heard it's more sensationalist stuff. It's like this kind of stuff, right? The Fame Monster kind of 3.0.
Yeah. It's back. Yeah, it's back to
nice.
Back
I gotta
to
check
Fame
that
Monster.
out.
Me too.
Yeah, Chromatica is great, and also there's a lot of fun Chromatica merch, like Chromatica curry, Chromatica Oreos.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Shout out to Johnny B, the GOAT, the legend. He was like, "I'm prepping for the album," and it was for the pod, and it was a picture of the Chromatica Oreos.
I saw the Chromatica curry, and it was like a tweet. It was like babe, are you okay? You haven't finished your chromatic.
Yeah, that's how I saw it too. I don't know who tweeted that, but is that
pink.
real? Was it really
I don't
chromatic curry?
know. I couldn't tell. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, look it up.
Oh yeah, nope. It's real.
It's just neon purple curry with.
Wait, no, it's from GagaDaily.com, another forum here. No, it looks real. I think it's real. I think chromatic curry exists.
Yeah,
There's
There's
some wild stuff out there in the world. I believe
If there's
it.
Oreos, there's curry. I'm with it.
That's
I'm
true.
a believer.
Lars, if you can make any ridiculous promotional Yam Haus food or any promotional item, what would it be?
I feel like it'd just be ridiculous because of the logistical challenge of sushi. Just like somehow have like a Yam Haus sushi like bento box or something, or like somehow you get raw fish to your house.
I mean, we are, Yam Haus is a Minnesota and Wisconsin centric band, which is right next to one of the biggest lakes. It's not landlocked. We got one of the Great Lakes right there.
Is there sushi grade meat in Lake Superior?
No, but I mean, I don't know.
Could you
Probably
like
not.
lake trout? Could you do lake trout sashimi?
I don't know, man. I just think the irony of like this landlocked Midwestern band, they dropped a sushi in the logistical nightmare of like shipping that and getting that sent out somehow.
There'd have to be a yam involved in some capacity
I
as well.
thought that route, but I was like, no, it's too on the nose. I
Mm-hmm.
could just do like canned yams or something, which is like a thing, right? They last.
Here's
long.
what you do, like a California roll, right? But it's like I don't
sweet
know, like a
potato.
northern roll, but you basically put like a cooked yam in there. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Have you seen like the Minnesota sushi memes? Are like it's like pickle and mayo, and that's like Minnesota sushi.
Yeah. Honestly, cream cheese covered pickles with ham is such a good dish.
No, it's not. I'm
love it.
anti pickle, so
Dude,
I can't.
I literally last time we were like on the road, I was in our hotel and we often will go to groceries and stock up. And I'm always like sick of like typical snacks. I'm always trying to like challenge myself. With
Also,
weird-
is my cat's purr getting in the microphone?
I
didn't hear it. But
Okay, good.
I
Because
want it.
Because he was meowing and stuff, so I had to pick him up. Sorry, go Lars.
No, I bought ham, cream cheese, and pickles, and I had them in our hotel room, and I was like just doing it raw right there.
I can't get
Doing
down
it
with
raw.
that. I can't get down with that at all.
Hit the whoa!
Yeah,
hit the whoa!
I can't get down with it.
Nah,
I'm not
Dude,
a
I
pickle
love
guy
it,
either.
dude.
This is an
a huge
anti-pickle
bigger guy.
podcast. So
but we're very
So
pro
sorry.
Britney Spears.
We should have vetted that before.
As we wrap up, Lars, you want to plug what you got going on, where people can follow you, where they can support you, where they can buy your band's merch?
Yeah, yamhaus.com. House is spelled German, Haus, for no reason whatsoever.
But I like it.
Yamhaus.com. And yeah, we have a single coming soon. I should send it to both of you guys.
Yeah.
yes, please.
You can leak it.
Oh, yeah. Let's do
It's
it.
not,
We'll play
it's not
it.
going to come out for like 2 months. So yeah, like leak that.
I'm going to play it very quietly in the background of the podcast. At Yam Haus Band on Twitter and Instagram as well, right? That's also your Instagram handle, or is it just at Yam Haus?
It's
It's at Yam Haus Band.
At Yam Haus.
Well,
Yam
just
Haus
type in
everywhere except for Twitter. You have to have the word band, which is dumb. Because somebody has a Yam Haus account on Twitter.
Well,
Let's find him.
The
Jeez.
SEO for Yam Haus is so good that if you just type in Yam Haus, you'll find them, follow
I
them.
know.
We love them, and they'll be
Even
massive.
if you
and
spell
like
it wrong.
that's
Even
true.
if you spell it wrong, it shows up, which is nice.
Do it now. So in 3 years, when they're massive, you'll be like, "Oh, I heard them on this podcast," and they'll be.
Honestly, you said that 3 years ago, Jordan. So this time this better be true, dude.
Was I
2018.
not? Was
I
I
mean,
lying?
You I don't know. It's success is so subjective, but we're having a
Damn.
good time. We're having
You're
a good
having
time.
a good time. Lars, thank you for making time to
Thank
talk
you,
about
Lars. Appreciate you.
two pretty dense albums.
Yeah.
This is not an easy one for you, but you came through and you delivered. So thank you.
Meaty albums.
Definitely
no pun
meaty.
intended.
There's
Don't get
definitely
me
a lot
started.
of meat. That's the link between them is the meat.
Yeah.
Really what it is.
Damn.
It's
Yeah.
the meat and the
Um,
meat suit.
Come on
Also,
now.
I like the Nike headband. Checks over stripes, bro.
That's what we like. Yeah. That's my Travis Scott impression. Yeah, I'm trying to get a man bun because my wife wants.
I love that. I'm about to
Thank
go
you.
buzz my head again.
Don't do that.
I'm getting rid of this. You see the brown? I'm gonna just go back. I'm gonna revert.
I think
back.
you're rocking it. Big Lance Bass vibes. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. That works.
Lance Bass was my favorite NSYNC member.
He's
All right.
mine too.
Really?
Yeah. Shout out
Yeah.
Lance Bass with his deep voice.
Yeah, dude.
Whoa. Why you wowing Lance Bass?
I'm just saying, you guys. It's a little too close here, guys. A little too close.
Dude,
Auggie,
we were in elementary school when they were a thing, so we hopped on the bandwagon. It is what it is.
Okay.
he was like the underdog of NSYNC, and
That's what I liked about him too. Because
Me
like
too.
whenever Lance had some shine, like yeah, Lance is in here.
yeah,
Was he the underdog?
Yeah.
Yeah, JT and JC stole the freaking spotlight. Nobody's gonna root for Joey or whatever the other guy's name was.
Yeah, but Joey still got some
he's
love,
the real
though.
underdog. The whatever his name is was the real underdog.
No, Joey's like the weird guy who was like co-producer who like kind of like businessy lined it up and he was like way older than everybody.
Yeah, he was a weirdo. Who are the members?
He's not a weirdo, but like I don't know, Lance could have been like a front runner guy.
Yeah.
Joey was never meant to be. This is the next podcast.
Yeah.
The NSYNC
and Chris
episode.
Kirkpatrick. Chris Kirkpatrick also had some love. Yeah.
And he had like the Guy Fieri vibes almost.
Yeah,
right?
he did.
Yeah.
Wait, is Chris Kirkpatrick the cornrow dude? Who's the
He was the
cornrow
cornrow
dude?
dude, which is more identifiable than anything Lance Bass ever did, which is why we
Flavortown.
pull for Lance.
Okay.
Lance was the soft-spoken, dreamboat who's just in the back playing his role.
Bro, go to the NSYNC Wikipedia page and look at the all red thing Lance is rocking. He looks good.
Dude, he is a cool guy.
We like Lance.
And screw
Well-
the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, well,
yeah. Whoa. We don't need to
That's
pick
the T.
sides.
That's the T.
Dude, the NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys discourse was 25 years ago. You missed it.
Yo, why don't we just bring that back? We should just do NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys on a pod and figure out who the real gods are. But then
Dude.
NSYNC will win. I mean, not NSYNC. New Kids on the Block will win eventually.
You'd pull out some like fiery millennials across the internet. They would come out of the woodwork.
Do we do Backstreet Boys Millennium versus Will Smith Millennium?
You guys would strike a gold mine. That is like there's
Dang.
so much pent up energy that people approaching their 30s, in their 40s feel about this time that no one's talking about anymore.
Nostalgia's a drug, and we will serve the base.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
We are fucking dealing that shit out.
Feed your people.
Back
We must.
streets back.
All
right. Okay, this is it. End the meeting, Auggie.
Hey,
All right.
Auggie, it was great to meet you, man.
Likewise, Lars. I really appreciate this. Is we commented on this like it was a sad way to meet and stuff.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, it was still a pleasure, and I hope we
Absolutely.
get to do this more and in real life more once we can do it
Definitely.
in real life.
Your vibe is impeccable and it comes across via Zoom. And I can't
Well,
imagine
this
what
is
it's
nice.
like in real person.
Likewise.
Jordan
Oh.
is way better in person. The Zoom vibes he gives off are just nasty.
Yeah, it's abrasive.
All right.
Well, love everyone. See ya.
Love you.